Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly Year of the Dead review. This one is my review and my throwback review for one of the biggest Walking Dead episodes of all time. This is my throwback review for Season 7, Episode 1, titled The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another video today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead and another Year of the Dead video for today. We are here to do our review for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1, titled The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. So, I had asked you guys on the votes this past week. Obviously, last week we had Comic-Con, which therefore kind of pushed off the Year of the Dead videos. So I want to kind of make sure I apologize to you guys for not getting one of these videos out to you guys last week. Just, obviously with Comic-Con and all the Rick returning news and, all that great stuff, I just simply had way too many videos to make, and sadly these kind of fell on the back burner. But we're doing two today. This one's the first one, and then we'll discuss the next one, which will be Strangers, Season 5, Episode 2. But let's talk about The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. So, got a chance to watch this episode again, and holy crap, it was just as mental as I remembered it to be. So, this episode was probably the most hyped up Walking Dead episode of all time, right? Now, there's a difference. For me personally, this is not my most hyped episode of The Walking Dead. That would have to go to The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 1. Just the hype for that episode was out of this world for me after the cliffhanger of Season 4. But this one right here was really nerve-wracking because we did not know who Negan was going to kill. And I remember the night I sat down. It was October 23rd, I believe, 2016. I could be getting that wrong, but I think it was something like that. Maybe 22nd, something like that. I remember sitting down and Last Day on Earth was playing, and I remember it was like 5 minutes out from the episode. I actually started shaking before this episode came out, which I don't do for like barely any entertainment. You get me shaking for an episode of your show, you know you've done something right, because I do not get that invested into shows, like to a point where I'm shaking. Yeah, that does not happen. So I go into this episode, and now let's talk about my kind of rewatch of this episode. It's just as insane as I remembered it to be. I mean, honestly, they basically start you off, and they throw you into an event where it already happened. And you've got Rick, who's got blood on his face, and you got Negan, who kind of talks to him, and Rick threatens to kill him. Not today, not tomorrow, but he's going to kill him. And Negan doesn't like that because he realizes that Rick has not fallen in line, not even a little bit, even after, everything he did, which at the time we don't know who he killed. But he drags him into the RV, and he basically makes him do a task for him. He says, get my axe, I'm going to, tell you that, you're mine. Those people out there, the ones that are left, they are mine. And, this axe, this is mine, and stuff like that. And he forces Rick to go out into a crowd of the dead to get Negan's axe back from the top of the RV. So as Rick is kind of doing this task, you kind of get these flashes that start going on of everybody kind of, getting their head bashed in. And you've got Rick that makes it to the top of the roof, where he then remembers what happened. Think about what could have happened, think about what happened, and then think about what can still happen. So that is exactly what he does. And as we follow Rick's perspective, we are back in the lineup. And this is when we get the reveal that Negan picked Abraham, ultimately. So, really sad. Obviously, Abraham was a very beloved character in The Walking Dead. And the part that got me the most is when he kind of gave the peace sign to Sasha. I was never a really big fan of the relationship, just to be fully honest with you guys. But, like I said, still a sad scene, and Abraham going down is really sad. But, man, the friggin' guy still says, suck my nuts, as he dies. I mean, for the love of God. Abraham is just, honestly, only him, right? Only him. So, Negan bashes his head in, and even Negan's amused, too. He's just like, is that what he said, So, yeah, you've got Abraham that's dead, And you've got Rosita that then kind of reacts to this. Now, Negan wants to just torture them even more. Makes Rosita take a look at Lucille and stuff like that. And she won't do it. And it really starts to anger Daryl. And I remember at the time, I was like, buddy, just stay there, But he can't handle it. He can't control himself. He punches Negan in the face, which pisses him off. But he doesn't kill Daryl. He lets Daryl feel it, which is the most screwed up part of it all. And he decides to kill Glenn. Because of Daryl punching him in the face. I still, I almost forget at times that that's what happened. I almost forget that Daryl punched Negan, which then ultimately pissed him off enough to kill somebody else. It's like he could have just been simple and just killed Daryl, be like, oh, okay, we can't have this guy around. But he goes a step further and makes Daryl feel the pain and makes Daryl feel every bit of remorse for what he did. And he kills Glenn brutally in front of everybody. And it was comic accurate. Oh, boy, was it ever. With the eyeball popping out, the I'll find you, Maggie, and stuff like that. Really, really gruesome. And Negan kills, yet again, another character. So, and that's when the timelines line up, right? So, I'm still speechless even just talking about this scene. Because, I expected a death. I expected Glenn to die. Everybody was expecting Glenn to die. And the writers are so cruel that they literally made us kind of relax for a second and be like, oh, it's Abraham. I mean, that's sad, but it's Abraham. That's kind of sad. And you're kind of like, oh, crap, so Glenn's going to survive, right? That's what's going to happen. And, no, that's not what happens. They trick you. They make you think Glenn's okay by killing Abraham, and then they kill Glenn as well. Absolutely just so tragic. So that was the death. Those were the two big deaths. And honestly, I mean, years and years later, that still packs a punch, honestly. And this is one of the biggest episodes of The Walking Dead because the effect it has on the show, even in season 10 and 11, they still relate back to this episode. I mean, it really did scar the show. It really, really did. And I know it's a big reason why a lot of people left. Now, for me, I looked at it as more of a motivation to watch more than ever. I was actually the opposite of that. I actually think that if you give up on the show after an episode like this, it'd be kind of freaking crazy. But I know some people did. I guess that's their decision to make. But I'll tell you one thing, you missed out on a good show after this. You really, really did. I mean, season 7, yeah, it was a build-up season. Season 8, whatever. But then you get season 9, you get season 10, you get some really good stuff. So, honestly, that's their loss. Anybody that dropped the show after that, it's your loss. Honestly, I can't really emphasize it enough. You're missing out. So, luckily, people like us, people that are more than likely watching this video, you've actually stuck with The Walking Dead through this. You've actually, stuck through the show and you've watched the show up, till this point. But I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people said, I just don't want to watch the show anymore, that sort of thing. And like I said, I bring it up because literally every single person I run into, they're like, oh, I stopped watching when Glenn died. I'm like, look, buddy, Glenn was fantastic. Yes, agreed. But, I mean, come on, man. You're really eager to give up on the story when they introduce a villain like Negan like that? I don't know. I always found it so difficult to get behind that one. But, even Carl getting killed off, I would actually argue is a bit worse for the overall story and the overall direction, But Glenn and Abe and, Negan's introduction, no, I don't know. People were so hyped up for this episode that it's a miracle to me that literally everybody on the face of this earth was waiting to see who Negan killed. But then, the same night, they're just like, I'm done with the show. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. I've rambled on enough about that. But anyway, Negan brings Rick back now, obviously. And he forces them. This is kind of the final nail in the coffin, if you will. Is that he forces Rick to cut his son's arm off. And when Rick freaks out, this is when Negan, says, you work for me, you provide for me, you belong to me, I'm taking Daryl, you have a week to find something we want, and until then, ta-ta. Man, what a just crazy episode. And that's basically where they leave it. Maggie and Sasha are going to go to Hilltop, and, Maggie's going to get help, and Rick and them are going to go back to Alexandria, and, they're owned by the Saviors. You know, that's how it went. So really crazy episode. This is probably one of the most mentally just crazy episodes I've ever watched. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, first of all. I mean, I don't see how you couldn't give this a perfect score. I mean, as brutal and as messed up as the episode is, they did their job, and honestly, I have to give credit where credit is due. Fantastic episode, fantastic work from The Walking Dead, and that is it for this video, guys. Make sure to let me know if you've rewatched this episode, if you have the guts to go back and watch this episode again. Let me know, and that is it for this video, guys. Make sure, of course, though, if you're new to the channel, to click that subscribe button. We'll be right back with our next Year of the Dead review because I missed one, so we'll be back for another one. Don't go away. That is it for this video, guys. I'll see you guys really soon for the next Throwback review. Peace out.
I've heard stories, walkers that can climb walls and open doors. I was never sure if they were just stories